Yo, what's going on, guys? Selectorch here today. We're going to be reacting to a video that AGAMATSU made called Layer 2 Tempo Explained or Tempo Explanation, something like that. I haven't watched this video yet. I just wanted to watch it with you guys, see, give my reaction to like what tempo actually is, like how it's going to change combat. Like I have no idea how it's going to interact with combat at all. So I'm here to, watch this video with you guys, see how it goes. But yeah, let's get into it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? AGAMATSU today, and today we're going to be talking about tempo.
Tempo,
Tempo is a new mechanic that replaces reservoir in the layer 2 update.
Yeah, we already know this.
I actually wanted to talk about a little bit because I actually showed a bit of it off in my 1v1 in the stream earlier. So I was like, yo,
I remember watching that.
Why not make a little analysis and explain a little bit? So whenever you see me first initially begin the fight and get hit, right? Whenever I first get put in combat, it gives me like about 60-70% of my tempo. So whenever you get put in combat, you are given like a good amount of tempo. That's kind of like your.
So I guess it's like almost like engage, but for like reservoir almost. So like they changed tempo and they turned into like engage reservoir. So if you hit, you get like reservoir back. I'm not, just putting it in terms like how we know it as of right now. So you get a hit, you get reservoir. That uses like regens your ether faster, I guess, something like that.
If you will, you're starting off a fight. However, if you notice, over time, it slowly and slowly decreases. This is like basically draining the basis of how tempo works. If you're not M1ing your opponent, your tempo will slowly decrease to 0. And the speed
do they really need to change the name though?
Is dependent on your tempo. So the more tempo you have, the faster it goes, right? So
okay, so the more aggressive you play, the better your ether regen. That's probably crazy. Now I wonder how like the ether related builds, like reservoir, like charisma builds or willpower builds, how they play in this for the tempo game. Can they just like spam mantras? Like, do they have like less regen, faster regen? Does it drain slower? Like, I don't know. I want to find out.
That means your ether regen is going slower and slower the less you don't M1 your opponent. So that means if you're like running away and spamming mantras, you're gonna run out of ether really quickly because frigid prisms don't work anymore.
What? Yo, we can't chug anymore? We can't chug anymore? Yo, I didn't know that. Frigid Prism's not working? Yikes.
You have to go and actually M1 your opponent to get your ether to go back up to giving you ether again.
I feel like this is what they tried to do with the parry changes. They did pretty early on in September or something. I don't remember when it actually happened, but I think that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to switch up the game to be more aggressive. So I guess it's like a setup to this.
Is actually really good for people who just M1 and fight like normal. Your average player, your competitive player who just be M1ing and fighting like normal, because you're going to be getting constant ether, right? Since you guys are probably going to be parry trading, you're going to be hitting your opponent a lot. You're going to be getting a ton of ether, right?
All right, I just want to say this right now. He says competitive players and like, players that are like play normally. I'm gonna be real, if you're not using a mantra right after an M1, you're doing something wrong. Like instantly, you just gotta fucking spam that key. Like instantly, you gotta start casting your mantras after M1s, because usually, if not, you're gonna land it. Like especially if it's like a mantra like Master's Flourish, you're gonna land it. Something like Thunder Kick, you're gonna land it. They just come out too quickly. People like anticipate like another M1 or maybe a feint right after usually. So if you just draw out a mantra and it's like you guys switch it up sometimes from like a slow start mantra to like a fast mantra, they usually will never parry it. So just throw out your mantra sometimes, right after an M1. Sometimes you can use mantras in neutral. Like Asher Wind in neutral is not that bad.
So that means you don't have to run away and use a Frigid Prism anymore in fights. You can just continuously fight, and I really love that.
Yeah, that's really nice.
But for the guys who like to run, the Ice Hero Blade builds, you guys are going to be struggling a little bit more because you can't just run away and use
cringe kids.
Unless, I will say, if you go pure 100 intelligence and like 90 charisma and focus on an ether build, you can actually like outdo the fucking
tempo
it's
bar?
Crazy. I won't talk about that though.
Outdo the tempo drain bar. Is that what he... Bro's like alluding to? He never finished his sentence. We know exactly what you're talking about, bro. You don't got to talk about it.
Make a video about that later on. However, for the most part, for almost every single player, you got to M1 a ton. That's what I'm gonna say about that.
That's fair.
Anyway, guys, I just want to talk about tempo. That's kind of really it about. That's it. That's really it. Like it just replaces reservoir. It's a better reservoir for people.
That's what it seems like. Yeah, better reservoir for people who play more aggressive.
Proactive. That's literally it. So I'll be catching you guys later, and you guys have a good day. Peace.
All right then, AGAMATSU. Thank you. That means a lot, man. Peace. You have a nice day too, bro. All right, guys. Well, that's all I have for the video. We just watched a tempo reaction video, so it is what it is. Peace.